Welcome to the Nagual Zone. I am Anaam. The Great Divide. The Great Divide. What's happening now, you could call the Great Divide. Now, here's a caveat. Most of what you will hear now is my personal opinion. However, you can say that it is the opinion of an experienced hunter. So imagine an experienced hunter is talking about how to hunt an animal, and they've been doing it for 20 years successfully. They must know something. They must know about tracking, hunting. They must know the patterns of the animal's movements, how predictable the animal is, how unpredictable the animal is, what it learns from, what it doesn't learn from. The hunter knows all those things. It's the same case. They are my opinions. However, I've been tracking the parasite, and the only reason to track the parasite is to protect yourself, really, right? So I've been tracking the parasite and happily, let's say, coexisting with it, making use of its systems for my own benefit very, very well for 20 years now. So I can piece together a few things that may be helpful to you or maybe not. We will talk about two main topics today. One is the bullshit called face masks. We'll talk about that. And I'll give you the sorcerer's explanation of that. It's very interesting. You want to listen to this one. Maybe you already have, but you want to listen to it. Maybe you already have from others. And the other one we'll talk about is the notorious clot shot. And I'll explain a little bit of that too. And I will tell you the sorcerer's explanation of this clot shot agenda that is being rolled out. All right, so the Great Divide. What is the Great Divide? This has been foretold, I believe, by a few of the elder tribes in America, around the world actually. The Aboriginal peoples in Australia, New Zealand also are aware of the Great Divide, have foretold it many times. Luminaries like David Icke, etc. And no, there's no need to leave bullshit comments like David Icke is rubbish, blah, blah. Save it. Just shut up, listen, or get lost. So, I don't care if you agree with David Icke or you don't agree. Watch my video called The 3 Bullshits before you come here and comment on this video. That's my recommendation. Okay, so a lot of people have talked about the Great Divide. The Great Divide is what New Agers call the changing of the ages. The new age is coming, the age of Aquarius, because the constellations are shifting and this is happening and the blah, blah, blah and the blah, blah, blah. And the Christians are banging on about the second coming and the doom is here and Revelation says thou shalt and thee shalt and hast thou and all that nonsense, right? The Great Divide is simply a separation of vibration. Say that again. The Great Divide is simply a separation of vibration. You see, the average man's consensus insanity / reality so far, till about, let's say 2013, 14, right, was very solid, and very much congealed. It was set. Since, last couple of 100 years, it's gradually been separating, gradually. But now the momentum has come to a point where the Great Divide is obvious. The Great Divide is obvious in your family. The Great Divide is obvious when you talk to your parents. The Great Divide is obvious when you talk to your siblings. The Great Divide is obvious when you talk to your kids. That's the Great Divide. It's the Great Divide in vibration. Now, Sorcerers contend that every individual has a base vibration, a mean average where they vibrate, that a mean average frequency that their body emits or inhabits, or you could call the fixed assemblage point that creates the consensus reality for the average man is fixed at a certain frequency. That is the base frequency of everyone. Each individual's frequency varies a little bit from the mean. Some are down, some are up. Sometimes the same person is up, a little bit up and down, but those are negligible compared to the fixed band that is absolutely fixed. And the entire human race is more or less vibrating on that frequency as the base frequency. That vibration has been the domain, the controlled domain of the parasite. The parasite specializes in entering the base mean frequency of a species that it wants to prey upon and controlling all aspects of that frequency and it's all aspects of the manifestations of that frequency. And this, remember, will be very important when we come to the clot shots. There's a lot of information out there now. If you want to inform yourself, really, there's a lot of excellent stuff out there now that is exposing the predators' agenda, the parasites' goals, agendas, tricks, and all sorts of things. Let's go to another very important point about the sorcerer's explanation of the Great Divide. And that is that the divide is inevitable. You cannot stop it. You cannot stop it. It's the nature of life to move vibrations in terms of elevation. That's just the nature of life. It moves vibration. It's like a jellyfish, and then it stays there for a bit, and then that's how the jellyfish locomotes, right? That's how life locomotes in bursts, then stay, and then burst, and then stay, and then burst, and then stay. New Agers call it the changing of the ages, right? You can call it the Great Divide. Here, the base vibration of the average man's consensus insanity, which was fixed, the reality manifestation, which was fixed, now is coming apart very much. It's very unstable now. You could say that reality as you know it is very unstable. And you know what I'm talking about, because you know the feeling, anything can happen now, anything. The parasite is now capable of anything. You know this, right? And that is true. The average man's consensus reality is breaking down really fast, really fast. There's no fixed reality. Pretty much soon, you will be at a great place in your awareness. If you have invested in your awareness, you'll be at a great place very soon where you'll be able to consciously choose. You can do that right now. You'll be able to consciously choose which part of the Great Divide you'd like to inhabit. There's some big reservations to that choice, which I will outline now. First, let's go on to masks. Why is it? Why is it that every country on this planet, or this plane rather, has come up with the same strategy to combat a flu variant? How is it? Makes you wonder. Why is it? Why is some country saying, well, we won't try masks, we will try pill popping. Let's see if that works. Some other country says, no, we won't try that. We will try something else. But every country just like that. You know what it reminds me of? Do you remember McDonald's having red and yellow company colors? You remember that? Big M in yellow and the whole thing in red. Yeah. Check McDonald's now. If your awareness is extremely in an extremely pitiable state, you may not even have noticed that McDonald's has changed its colors throughout the world. It's now become brown and green. Ooh, what happened? Brown and green, the earth. We are holistic. It's all brainwashing. All brainwashing. All brainwashing. Red and yellow colors vibrate at a certain frequency. Red is your mating instinct. Yellow is when you feel happy. Bet you didn't know that one, eh? McDonald's also has discarded fetus meat in it. This is proven, not conjecture, actual proof, proven. It's out there. And they buy discarded organs not fit for transplantation. They chuck it in their meat, horse meat, all sorts of stuff. Now, brown and green colors. Oh, so holistic. Oh, yes. I love me a McDonald's for Christmas. You'll find them doing very good business during Christmas. That happened across the world in every... You know how many McDonald's are there in the world? It would boggle your imagination if you really knew. Within 7 days, the directive had gone out from head office. I don't even know where their head office is, to change colors of everything. You know how big the task that is? To change colors of their little, where they put the crisps or chips or whatever they call them. Everything has to be brown and green. All the display, everything, the freaking seat covers, the outside paint, everything must change. Happened in 7 days across the world. 7 days. Give and take a few, depending on if you're in the backwaters of Mauritius or somewhere, where the painter dude takes 2 days to get there on a donkey. Well, it still happened. And the average man is still figuring out, but surely, yeah, corporations. What part of corporations do you not understand? So, after watching this video, go and watch the Olympic opening ceremony of 2012. Olympic opening ceremony of 2012. And tell me what you saw in the comments. Certain sections of that opening ceremony will really fit with what is happening today, 2012. And then watch the logo of the 2012 Olympic ceremony. It is clearly spelled Z-I-O-N. Watch it. 2012, actually, the way they done it, it's a very clever brainwashing, subliminal brainwashing. Just go and check it out for yourself. Once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. Watch that opening ceremony. There's a reason for that opening ceremony, and that reason is called the occult. Warriors understand the occult very well because sorcery, especially ancient Toltec sorcery, was the occult. It was based in the occult. What do you think moving the assemblage point is all about? It's one and the same as magic. One and the same thing. Same thing. Words are made up of what? Spelling. You're spelling. You're literally spelling. Spelling is a verb. A verb. Okay? So, this world, the parasite's inroad into controlling the perception of the average man in order to create a controlled reality is, you could call what is called the occult. Now, The parasite has taken care of your perception of the occult. You know how? By something called Disney. Snow White, magic witch, this, that, and the rest of it. That's not the occult. That's cartoons. That's nonsense. The occult is what the clot shot does to you. And I'll explain that. That's occult. Occult and science are very, there's a hairline's difference. Disney, you know, all these movies and all this nonsense, it's there to promote the ignorance about the occult. Oh, draw the pentagram on the ground and put freaking black candles. Why not pink candles? Oh, pink is love, black is dark. Right. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Pentagram and then black candles and incantation in Latin. Come thou esta gesta, Satan, come, blah, blah. It's all nonsense. That's not the occult. That's just cartoon Disney nonsense, where you're sending very powerful signals to your creative force that is locked in your body. And then your body manifests all sorts of cartoons for you in what you call your reality. And people go, yeah, it's really true. That's not the occult. Okay? But this world is run through occult means. The main entryway to trigger, to activate occult magic, if you want to call it that, is symbolism. Symbolism and archetypes go into parts of your mind that you have very little hope of being aware of, unless you lose your human form. That's the only time you'll be aware of those parts of your mind. Symbolism speaks to those parts of your mind. A red background and a yellow M. That's symbolism. Suddenly changes to brown and green. That's symbolism, right? I always say this, if someone's watched one ad in their life, they're brainwashed. One advertisement, you are brainwashed. No use pretending you're totally brainwashed. It takes one advertisement, that's it. Occult symbolism is everywhere. That's why I'm saying, look at the Olympic ceremony, opening ceremony. You will start seeing where I'm going with this. That occult ceremony was the start, the kickstart of an occult ritual. Occult rituals are very big. Again, Toltecs understand ritual very well. Ancient Toltec seers were steeped in ritual. In fact, it was their downfall. That's why modern day, even in Castaneda's time, Don Juan still was into a bit of ritual. You read Castaneda 1 and you will see he was quite ritualistic. But as time goes on, ritual is just kind of loses its best sparingly used. The occult and rituals go together. In Christian terms, you can call it demonic rituals. Demonic rituals using symbolism. And in even a basic occult ritual, the practitioners, whether they are voluntarily part of the ritual or involuntarily part of the ritual, in the more powerful rituals, where massive amounts of energy, remember this one, massive amounts of energy needs to be invoked or evoked, right? Masks are used. Now, what is the defining feature of a mask? A mask is useless if the eyes are covered and this is all open. So imagine a mask like this. It's useless. That mask is only put on people who are to be sacrificed. That's when you have a very specialized mask where the eyes are closed. But in every ritualistic mask or any mask anywhere, the eyes, you can see through, but that's what you get. right? Any occult ritual has requirements for this, and there are occult reasons for that. And every participant must adhere to the rules. What's the second rule of an occult ceremony? There's no way to hold a powerful ritual when people are just moving around. Oh, I feel like going to that part of the room. It doesn't work like that. Everyone has appointed positions where they stand and they chant, right? What is this malarkey about quarantining yourself? Self-quarantine. It is to get you to stay in one place. Now, because this is happening plane wide, there's a lot of room, leeway. It's not like in a room, it's plane wide. So people can move around, but as long as they stay in certain populations, stay in places, the ritual has effect. That is why it's huge restriction on travel, escalating from the bullshit job called 9/11. If you know how occult rituals work, this will start making perfect sense to you. And if you know why pedophilia is a big thing in the leaders of this world, you will know it's all to fuel their occult, their capacity to move massive amounts of energy, because you're dealing with a world that is evolving, that is moving and evolving right out of your vibration if you don't clamp down on it. So you could say that nature is making this world evolve, elevate, activate right out of the predator's inhabited frequency band, which the predator has invested so much in controlling over the ages. This world's evolving right out of it. The predator already knows this. It has factored this in. This is not a surprise. And so in this last stages of that evolution, it is dealing with massive amounts of energy, and it must move massive amounts of energy in order to deal with this, in order to lock it down. What's it called? Lockdown. Yeah. So everything, all these are occult symbols, occult words, occult spellings. Stay safe. When the parasite tells you to stay safe, do you know what it means? It means it's dangerous. It means you are dangerous to me. Everything is flipped around. Everything is flipped around. Everything. I've talked about this before in many of my videos, that the demon that runs this world, it has many names, Jehovah and Allah, all this nonsensical. You could call it a demon, or as warriors we call them inorganic beings. They are predators, just like anything is a predator. It's nothing personal against them or their prey. That's just the life cycle of predation in nature, right? But you can call it demonology, that kind of thing. This is why you have such an insistence. All the governments are agreeing on this amazing method of preventing this flu. Amazing method. Doesn't do anything except, and we'll come to that, except put a particular heavy metal called graphene oxide into your system. We'll come to that right now. Isn't that amazing? What a coincidence. Every government agrees on this. And it didn't take long, did it? For around the world, everyone's taking involuntary but choosing. You can not volunteer, but you can choose, if there is such a thing. People are choosing involuntarily to take part in a plane-wide, massive, ongoing black magic ritual. There have been sacrifices made. The lady here in the British royalty was called Princess Diana, a sacrifice towards energizing this occult ritual, and quite a few others. A few celebrities as well have been sacrificed. Rituals. These are ritual sacrifices. Ritual sacrifices. It was inaugurated. This plain white ceremony was inaugurated in 2012. And it has now, in its it's taking, the ceremony is in that phase of its ritual, where it's really taking off. So you have these idiots running around having no clue what's going on. Now, this may or may not be true, right? Because as I said, this is all opinion. You have to know, could this be true? Okay. Now it's on you. Go and study demonology. Go and study rituals. How magic rituals, what are their characteristics, and then compare it. And tell me what you find. You may completely disagree. No problem. I'm not into agreement and disagreement anyway. Again, I remind you, watch my video, The 3 Bullshits. It's a very useful video. So that is the reason for warriors contend, or in my opinion, that is the reason for this very mysterious phenomenon. Even children must, if the parasite had its way, little babies, everyone would involuntarily be taking part in this black magic ritual worldwide, because you need all of that energy moved to somehow keep the lid on this incredible evolutionary urge that is happening right now. That's what it does need. It needs all that consciousness, all those luminosities to be trapped and used in black magic. It needs that. Secondly, clot shots. Clot shots are made up of 2 things you need to worry about. Graphene oxide. I urge you, look this one up. And no, Google won't tell you anything about it. Look this one up. Graphene oxide. Look up what actual experts are saying rather than the prostitutes that is called funded science. Right? Actual experts. Dispassionate and actual, whoever, the guy who invented this, the guy who invented graphene oxide, check out what he says. It's always a he, isn't it? Then the second thing you need to focus on is mRNA, messenger RNA, keyword messenger, and I'll explain this to you. Graphene oxide, first of all, the physical, do you know what graphene oxide looks like? It's a monoatomic nanomesh. Monoatomic nanomesh. You know what that is? That's a very fine net. What would you use a net for in your life? Take a guess. What would you use a net for? To hold things. To trap things. It literally, actual physical, it's actually a net. A net. And that netting has some strange side effects, because the edges of the edge of this nanotech, it's razor sharp. There's no rounded edges in these nanotech particles. There's no rounded edges, it's totally razor sharp. So it goes in and it starts to cut at molecular levels, the entire body. And the body goes into shock and starts to self-repair very quickly. So one of the main things about clot shots is lesions, internal bleeding, lesions. What's the second thing? Why is it called a clot shot? If I was to take a knife and cut you, what would happen? What would happen? Your blood would do what? It would clot. Why? Because your body it's your body's way to suture the wound. It's like super glue. Blood clots are super glue for the body. The glue, they create a zip effect. Why is it called a clot shot? Why is blood clots the biggest symptom of this nanotech inserted in you? Because as soon as those razor blades start chopping you up from the inside, the blood has to clot. That should give you the explanation. Now, if you think, it's not really, there's only a few people in the world, it's just, all vaccines will have some deaths associated with it. They have told us. Yes. You are dumb beyond belief, because you listen to the wrong news. So that's one of the things you need to is the graphene oxide. And graphene oxide at monoatomic levels has some very peculiar properties that I'll leave you to research. Very peculiar properties. It is almost a superconductor of electricity. Almost. It is that good a conductor of electricity. What is electricity? Electromagnetic field. That's what electricity generates. Powerful electromagnetic fields. What is the other topic that all the conspiracy theorists, what are they concerned about? What's that other topic then again? Let's hear it. 5G. Oh, electromagnetic fields. Right. So you have the parasite coming in and literally making your blood, your vein system, and eventually your skeletal system a net that conducts electricity and alters the body's electromagnetic field so powerfully that you can stick a spoon and it'll stick. Oh, wait. 5G workers were exempt from lockdown around the world. The virus was not touching them. 5G is totally exempt. If you're a 5G guy, the virus does not touch you. You are good to go. Put up those masks. Oh, and what was that satellite stuff that was going on with Elon Musk? Oh, yeah, all of that business. Oh, interesting. Oh, wow. Now, a lot of this you may have pieced together already, but it's worth really bringing it to some real focus to know exactly what the parasite has in mind for you. The second thing is mRNA, messenger RNA. Here's how it works. And I know I'll get some wise guy coming along, science. I am a virologist. Yeah, I've talked to a lot of you people, and really, you know nothing. You really don't know anything. It's all guesswork. It's basically my guesswork against your guesswork, isn't it? Really, Mr. Virologist. Or I've talked to geneticists. I'm a geneticist. I've talked to these guys. I'm a geneticist. mRNAs don't have anything to do with, and here's the equation with the CH2 plus 334 equals blah, blah, blah. You're guessing, aren't you? It's kind of guesswork, isn't it, really? You have no clue. You have no idea what genes really are, do you? You have no idea what they do. You have no idea that beyond the word lies the mystery. Oh, but splutter and puff. Get out of my face. When you actually have some knowledge, come back, talk to me. Otherwise, don't waste my time. So, and you need to have this attitude. Otherwise, these priests, the modern day priests of the parasite, will come and dazzle you with their nonsensical Latin-based word inventories. And you'll think that, yeah, I know, myoglycine and glycoprotein and phosphate and blah, blah. And then suddenly you'll feel like you know a lot. But you know nothing. You just know words. Oh, but I've seen it in the microscope. You have no idea what you're seeing. Do you really? Take away the words and suddenly there's a mystery left, isn't it? Oh, but we can replicate in the laboratories. And what does that prove? That proves that you know something, do you? No, it doesn't, does it really? Just because I can take this pen and put it back again and again and again 100 times all around the world doesn't mean I know what this is, do I? So, mRNA, here's how it works, according to my understanding. Messenger RNA. RNA, white people just, all this nonsense, DNA, RNA. RNA and DNA are a married couple. They talk to each other very well. The RNA will go, hey, can you get bread today? And DNA will go, bread coming up, ma'am. And bread comes up. So they talk to each other about the well-being of the body and how to manage the base vibration of the individual. That's what they talk about constantly. How can we elevate? But he's so stubborn and stuck. He won't change. Well, let's just manage where he's at as best as we can, right? The parasite has had a brilliant idea. Let's do something. Let's hijack the wife. Let's hijack the RNA and put in an artificial messenger instead of the wife, which looks exactly like the wife, talks like the wife, but gives the husband completely different content. The communication is completely different now. Now the wife ain't saying, hey, we need some bread, we need some vegetables, we need eggs, we need this, we need that. Could you, when you're out in the market, could you just get some of those, please? Now the wife is going, hey, do you know that this is very bad for you? Don't listen to the conspiracy theorists. It's very bad. Obey, comply. It's very good. You are a good person. If you don't go against the parasite, you are a good person. You will be very happy. Nothing will bother you. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. That's what. And the husband's going, what's wrong with you? You never talked like that before. Hey, you know what? I don't think this is my wife. I need to do something about this. Guards, dog, Doberman, chase this out. Out, please. But what happens is there's a problem. The wife can replicate it herself. This false wife, she's like the Terminator. She can replicate herself. You kill one wife, another one comes, exactly the same thing. Again, obey, be compliant. And it's just, there's no way to stop it. That's what mRNA actually is. Oh, but protein spikes. Yeah, you can do your blah blah till the cows come home, but this is what I'm saying. Take it or leave it. If you want nanotech changing the communication in your genes, in your DNA about what's going on as the well-being of your body, then go right ahead. Now, boosters. Why do you need a booster? Ever thought about that? Why does the average man need a booster? Why do you're jabbed up, aren't you? Jabbed up to your gills because you want to feel safe, or you want to please people, or you can't be bothered. So ask yourself, why do you need boosters? Because there's something called homeostasis, or you can just call it well-being. Nature is so amazing and your luminosity is so incredibly powerful that even all of this, along with McDonald's, remember all that baby eating that you've been doing all your life? Horse meat and all that stuff. Along with seeding the skies with heavy metals, or all sorts going on for generations, and then your pet favorite entertainment, TV, Netflix, all that stuff, it has to work so hard to control your luminosity. It's now got into your very DNA, which is directly responsible for your well-being. And by well-being, I mean establishing your base vibration. So you have a net, and you have a false messenger that literally puts spells upon that part of you which is responsible for establishing your base vibration. Don't you think that's a very effective way to entrap an individuals, consequently societies, consequently entire populations, into having a base vibration that cannot or is not allowed to rise? So this is what's going on in these jabbed folks. The vibration, the force of nature is wanting the vibration to rise, but there's an ironclad cap there. So it's like a fish out of water. It's just doing this constantly inside them. If you got the vaccine, you can forget about raising your vibration. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. That is why this clot shot is even there. It is there to cap your capacity to where your vibration can go. It literally will transform your body over time through sheer repetition. It's called boosters, into a 0 and 1 digital vibratory nature, where right now your luminosity reflects, it's like a rainbow, many colors according to how you're feeling, many expressions, beautiful hues, bright sometimes, most of the time it's very dull for the average man, but just absolutely gorgeous. Over with enough repetitions, it will bring that luminosity right down to a grayish luminosity with brown staining on it everywhere. Zeros and ones, only 2 colors. That's what this clot shot is about. It is to cap your capacity to elevate, to spiritually elevate, if you want to call it that, or we can stay at the concept of vibration, so that you literally cannot raise your vibration. Can't do it. Just can't do it, because it self-replicates. You got a heavy metal, a mesh made of heavy metal, completely altering your electromagnetic field. You got your genetic material tampered with by something that self-replicates. It's nanotech. You think these guys are fooling around? You think they don't know what they're doing? Yeah, that's what you have volunteered for. On top of that, remember all that occult stuff I was talking about? Who's laughing now? So, my advice to you, if you're jabbed, is don't watch this video. I should have said this earlier on. Don't watch this video. It's not for you. Just be on your way. Get your boosters, or never get jabbed again, whatever. It's done. It's in now. It's in. Best you can hope for is that your body, well, at least go jogging or do something. Give your body a chance to be healthy enough to somehow protect itself from this tampering. But I know you won't do it, because you're an apathetic little shit, aren't you? That's why you won't do anything. You won't even change your eating habits. You're going from fat to fatter. Happily getting your ass jabbed with nanotech. You can say whatever you like about this jabbing, but you cannot get away from the fact that you have chosen to have nanotechnology inserted in you. You can say whatever else like that is not arguable. That is absolutely, no matter how you cut it, that's the fact. You have chosen it. You have chosen, for whatever reasons you may have, no one cares, whatever your reasons are. You have chosen to willingly be tampered with experimental nanotechnology. It's not experimental. It's very well, the parasite knows what it's doing with nanotechnology. So I'll leave you with that happy note. The rest of you, this is your time. The great divide. You don't get to sit on the fence anymore. The great divide. And this next bit is reserved for the attendees that I'm going to talk about now. What to do about those of you who are interested in elevating themselves, in activating their luminosity back up to full strength again. I'll give you some little tips now. But for you YouTubers and everyone else, I'll leave you here with these happy thoughts. This is all to do with the great divide in vibration. And the parasite is interested in one part of the great divide, clamping it down. Nature's vibration is rising. This world's base vibration is rising. It's called Schumann resonance. You want to check that up as well one time. Another white geezer's come along, put his stamp on the base vibration of this world. It was known to the ancients for thousands of years. So Schumann resonance now you want to check out. It's the base vibration of this world, and that's rising rapidly. The parasite is in panic mode. And that's why it wants to really clamp down on. It is now and will in very few, in near future, be possible to vibrate yourself right out into a separate reality. No one's saying it's going to be heaven with 100 virgins and all that, but it's going to be, what you don't want is to get stuck in what the parasite has in store. You don't want that. All right, on that note, walk in freedom. If you're jabbed, it doesn't apply to you anymore. Sorry, I don't make the rules. But the rest of you, walk in freedom. And I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.